everyone, welcome back. So this is another series that we're doing on aging, and we're talking a lot about perimenopause and menopause and what changes when we age, because that's a topic that a lot of people want to know about. We're all going to age at some point, right? And as scary as it seems, the more we talk about it, the more that we have the information we need to normalize it. So I'm here today with Danielle Bettigrew. She's a nutrition expert. She's also a coach and an owner of a gym. And so I'm going to ask her some questions about nutrition and aging and all that fun stuff. So welcome, Danielle.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming again. We've had Danielle here before, and she has so much information that I figured I needed to just get some more out of her with this other topic. So you want to just remind us about who you are?
Yeah. My name is Danielle. I am a co-owner of the gym that Annalisa attends, Fit Town Jupiter. I've been coaching in the fitness space for 11 years now, and in nutrition since 2015-ish. And that's my passion. It's what I do full time, and I love.
Yeah, Danielle helps so many people. She's helped me. For those of you who have watched other YouTube videos, you know that nutrition is an important part of my life and just overall wellness, and she's been a really important part of that. And not just for me, for other family members of mine, many of my friends, many people that I work out with, and I'm sure after this, some other people as well. So we'll also let you know how to get in touch with Danielle if you're interested in finding out more about her services. So let me start Danielle off. How should nutrition change as we age?
Yeah, so specifically for females, a lot goes on. I know we're going to talk a lot about menopause and stuff here, but definitely much more changes for the female side of things than it does for the male. As we age, hormones are changing. Our body is constantly going through things, especially once we're kind of out of the high peak, baby bearing ages. So after 30, stuff kind of starts to get real. So we, once you kind of pass that point, there's lots of studies that show that our body's kind of fighting us. We're breaking down muscle much faster than we once were. So to combat that, we can really do it with nutrition and then also the proper exercise.
Is it impossible, and I already know the answer, but is it impossible to build muscle and be really fit as you age past 30s, 40s, 50s?
Absolutely, yeah. We have tons of people who are their fittest selves, in their 40s and 50s. And yeah, it's definitely not the end of the world to be above 30 or 40, but you definitely have to be diligent about putting in the work to prevent that stuff from happening.
Yeah. So what sort of changes specifically food-wise? So I'm guessing we metabolize things a little different as we age. Maybe our metabolism slows down. We find, fat in places we didn't have it before, right? It stores differently, and certainly our energy levels are different. How should that change, our proportions in our food? Should it?
Yeah, so metabolism does slow down, so caloric needs are gonna also come down. As far as what your meal should look like for the generally healthy person, that stuff doesn't look too different. We still want to be eating a diet that's high in protein, but as we age, we'll often have carbs come down just a little, fats go up just a little to kind of promote that good hormone function. Carbs are still very essential, but not as important the older we get as that activity level comes down. If you're still very active, if you're an athlete, those things are going to still be just as important as they were before.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm just wondering about protein. Are we going to be eating the same protein? Do we eat more protein? How does that work?
Typically about the same. Once you're kind of at that number based off of your body weight and what your lean muscle tissue is off, that is what the number that we typically work off of.
Yeah. So always still important, all these macronutrients and eating them in the right portions. It sounds like our carbs may change a little bit and maybe our fats, but essentially we're always going to be eating more fats, right?
Yeah, that'll typically go up just a little bit. And, you know, if you are kind of at where you want to be physically, it's a lot easier to maintain that physique as you continue to age versus like the older you get, the harder it's going to be to kind of lose those problem areas or the extra weight that you're carrying. So it just gets a little bit harder when those caloric needs are coming down just biologically as things are changing, but then also as you're aging and you're not doing quite as many things as you were when you were younger.
So that's a good point there, that while our caloric needs are changing, we may also be less active because we're not maybe chasing kids around or doing some of the sports we were doing before. But certainly it's not impossible. And one of the things I hear Danielle saying is that, you know, start early as you can to get on your wellness track and to make sure that your nutrition is on track, because then as you age, you'll find it easier to manage some of the changes that come with aging. Doesn't mean that if you haven't done it yet that you can't start now. There's still a lot of you know, a lot of help to be able to do it. Things that people ask a lot about is, you know, the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause and how nutrition can impact that. So I know that there are a lot of studies out there. I read one particularly from the UK, which talked about the fact that food can really, and diet can really influence, either worsen symptoms or can actually help to make symptoms better.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about.
Yeah, the study that you're referring to was actually pretty astounding. Like the results were, I would say, pretty extreme. Usually you see like maybe a little skewed one way or the other, but this one particularly showed that like with the proper nutrition, you're looking to postpone menopause like 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
It was a study done in the UK. I think that the average age of menopause was around like 51 there. And those who ate like a diet that was full in like omega-3s, like the oily fishes and a lot of legumes specifically, those individuals were able to like put it off by quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how the symptoms can be managed, but this study even showed that you can delay the onset of menopause.
Yeah, and just like maintaining a good hormonal balance to where things are slowing down and maybe not being produced in the capacity that they were, you're putting that off by fueling yourself properly. And I think that the other side of that was people having menopause like 2 years earlier who were not prioritizing those things in their diets.
Yeah. So one of the things that you just talked about that we didn't touch on in the last series that we did, but I think is important even with this, is that by under eating or not eating properly, you can actually throw your hormone balance off, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
have all sorts of effects.
Yeah, and like, you'll hear about people getting amenorrhea from like being in the fitness space, working out and being at like such a lean body fat. That's symptoms. That's a sign that our body is like out of whack, that there's some sort of imbalance, and it takes years to come back from that sort of thing. So yes, it can definitely, getting the right amount of fats for a female is what can really help those hormones balance, and then also like brain function and stuff. It's very important.
Yeah, super important. So any other advice that you would want to just lay out there for any of our viewers that are moving towards the happy age of over 30, over 40, over 50, over 60? Anything that you'd want to impart on wisdom with them, for them with their diet?
Try not to think about it too much. Don't stress about the number that you can't change, but focus on, what your body feels like. You can be, out doing whatever exercise feels good to you, as little or however much you want. And if you're fueling your body, that machine, then you're going to be able to perform much longer. And perform, I mean that loosely. That could be going for a walk, or it could be like you being a beast in the gym. Like, if you are rewarding yourself with the food that your body craves and needs, you're going to see the benefits of that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Danielle. I really appreciate you coming back out. This is such an important topic. I don't think we talk enough about it. And so hopefully you'll join me again for other, little videos on perimenopause, menopause, and aging in general, and how we can stay well through that process. And hopefully we'll bring Danielle back on again. I'll put some information down in the bottom there to tell you how you can reach out to Danielle if you have any questions or want to know more about what she does. So thank you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Right. It sounds like, okay. Because you're a therapist.